Agentic. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Every week, there is a new demo showing AI writing the code, writing the test, fixing the bugs, and even entirely replacing the developers. Silicon Valley has a new favorite word, agent, agentic development, agentic workflow, agentic software engineers. Apparently, your next coworker might not need salary, no sleep, and not even Stack Overflow. But after using the system myself, I think it is more impressive and less magical than actually people think. Every few years, software industry invents a new word that sounds like it came from sci-fi startup generator, cloud native, Web3, metaverse, prompt engineering, and now agentic AI. Apparently, software no longer needs developers, just agents, autonomous coding systems, self-improving workflows, AI engineers that never sleep. But before we decide that agent is the next future, we need to understand what is agent. ChatGPT itself is not an agent. It's just inference. It just answers your question. An agent is different. An agent can plan, use tools, run commands, edit the files, retry after failures, execute workflows, interact with software systems. It's not just generating the text anymore. It performs the actions. If you want to know more about it, I have just created the video about it. You can just click on the I button and watch that video after this video. So let's continue with this one. To summarize a little bit about the Agentic AI, it's like your intern who has your terminal access, your Jira access, your GitHub permissions, production credentials, and unhealthy amount of caffeine. That's why tools like Claude or Devin, they feel different than the chat AI assistants that we used to use. They don't just suggest the code, they implement the development lifecycle. And honestly, that part is real. Real. The reason this is exploding quickly is because the gains are not imaginary. Teams are using AI agents for everything: scaffolding the features, fixing the bugs, generating the test, updating the dependencies, refactoring the code base, writing the documentation, and running the CI workflows, and it is happening really fast with the minimal human input. GitHub Copilot agents can already read the GitHub issues, propose the fixes, run the tests, create pull requests automatically. That's not autocomplete anymore, that's automation. And this is important if we are not looking at the agents or the AI thingy that suggests the code. We are looking at the software that actually can operate inside the software systems. That changes everything, because software engineering always had one bottleneck, that is human execution speed. Agents attack that directly, because now one engineer can explore multiple ideas, run multiple tests, execute more implementation, execute more refactors that needed entire team for a month few years ago. And honestly, this part feels magical, and I have experienced that myself. You describe an idea, the agent start building, files appear, test runs, bug get fixed, and for a moment, it genuinely feels like the future arrived early. But then other side is also showing up. The market is currently selling one dream: full autonomy. The AI engineers, self-driving software development, entire startup running by agents. But most real engineering teams are not asking for full autonomy. They want leverage but without chaos. And that distinction matters a lot. Because if your engineering process is already messy, agents don't remove the mess, they multiply it. If your team has a weak specs, bad architecture, poor observability, no automated test, broken CI/CD, unclear ownership, then adding agent is just like adding a rocket engine in a cart. Technically faster but emotionally terrifying. AI doesn't magically fix your technical debt. It just helps you to get bankruptcy faster. And this leads to biggest misconception in agentic AI conversation. People assume automation reduces cognitive load, but in many cases it increases it, because the agent never gets tired, but the human reviewer does. Agent can generate huge code diffs, massive refactors, endless retries, constant output, and now human become validator, orchestrator, reviewer, risk manager. You stop typing every new line of code, but you are constantly verifying correctness, and that mental overhead is real, and many engineers are calling it a vibe slow, an English flood of low context AI code that technically compiles but slowly degrades the system quality over time. And research is starting to show that AI generated pull requests are created faster but accepted rarely, especially in the complex engineering task. That should tell us something important. Speed alone is not engineering, judgment is. The dangerous thing about agent is that they often look correct locally. The code compiles, the test pass, CI turns green. But the software systems are not local. The real production system contains years of historical decisions, weird edge cases, undocumented business rule, architectural compromises nobody remembers anymore. And agent usually don't understand any of that. They optimize for immediate success, not long-term coherence. Agents are incredibly good at optimizing the measurable goals. Pass the test, close the issues, reduce the errors, and satisfy the prompt. But software engineering contains something that is not measurable. For example, readability, maintainability, team comprehensions, future adaptability, operational simplicity, and sometimes agent produce the code that is technically correct but structurally terrible, like over-engineered abstractions, unnecessary complexity, dependency explosions, patterns nobody on the team would have designed intentionally. And at industrial scale, agents can create the system really messy. Humans have natural output limit, but agents don't. But that sounds amazing, isn't it? But until the reviewer becomes the bottleneck. Now, one engineer needs to review multiple pull requests, massive diffs, constant retries, autonomous refactors, and eventually something dangerous happens. Reviewer stops to review the code and bypass it, and system quality starts to degrade because of the high quantity of output from agents. There's also one uncomfortable question hiding beneath all of this. What happens if engineers stop to deal with the problems directly? Debugging, reading the terrible code, that's how the expertise is formed. But if AI writes the code, it debugs it, it finds out the problem, eventually engineers risk becoming operators of systems that they no longer fully understand. And that's dangerous, because if AI fails catastrophically, there should be someone understanding the system properly. Old AI hallucinations were mostly harmless. A chatbot says something wrong, you laugh, you regenerate, you move on. Agentic hallucinations are different, because now the model can act, delete the infrastructures, modify the configs, open broken pull requests, corrupt the complete deployments, execute the destructive commands. The problem is no longer the answer is wrong. Now the problem is the system acted on the wrong answer. A chatbot hallucinating is embarrassing, but agent hallucination, it can become an outage. The hardline for this video is we used to debug the code. Now we need to debug the software that is writing the software, because autonomous system introduce entirely new layers of failure. The code might be broken, or the prompt, or the planning loop, or the toolchain, or the retry logic, or the model behavior itself. And suddenly engineering teams are not maintaining the code or maintaining the applications anymore. They are maintaining the probabilistic ecosystem. A traditional bug affects the code, but an AI agent can infect the whole infrastructure. One hallucinated command, one poison dependency, one malicious prompt injection, and suddenly agent is not generating the text anymore. It's generating the incidents. That's all for this video. I hope you have understood about the AI agents and its hype. If it's truly magical or it's something that some people are just creating the bubble. So that's all. You're watching Arconsis, and thank you for watching till the end. Bye-bye.